Hello and welcome to News Connect. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. In the next 1 hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates in India and also across the globe. It's a power-packed 1 hour. Our correspondents will also join us for the latest updates. First up, the headlines. 22 security force personnel martyred in the encounter between police and Maoists in Bijapur and Chhattisgarh. Several Naxals also gunned down. Union Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to Chhattisgarh Chief Minister, asserts martyrdom of jawans will not go in vain. In view of rapidly rising cases of COVID-19, Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a high-level meeting attended by Cabinet Secretary, Principal Secretary to PM, Health Secretary as well as senior officials. Nearly 93,000 new corona cases reported in the country in the past 24 hours. Campaigning to conclude today in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry, and for third phase of polls in Assam and West Bengal. Leaders from different political parties to attend rallies and meetings across the states today. As COVID-19 cases show surge globally, Bangladesh announces country-wide lockdown from Monday. Turkey reports highest number of cases in a single day. In Myanmar, protests intensify against junta. Death toll in police crackdown on peaceful protesters crosses 550. In sports, Ashley Barty clinches second consecutive Miami Open women's title, winning 6-3, 4-0 before her opponent. Bianca Andreescu retires due to injury. Italian Yannick Sinner to take on Polish Hubert Hurkacz in men's final tonight. And the world celebrates Easter today to commemorate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. President, Vice President, Prime Minister extend Easter greetings. Pope Francis hopes for post-pandemic rebirth at Easter Vigil. Well, our top story in Chhattisgarh, several Naxals have been gunned down in an encounter in Bijapur district of Bastar region on Saturday. 22 jawans also martyred in the encounter. Following specific inputs about the presence of Naxals in the South Bastar area, security forces launched an intensive search operation on Friday night. Nearly 2,000 CRPF personnel, Cobra Battalion as well as District Reserve Guard and Special Task Force were deployed in this operation. The Naxals ambushed the security forces on the border of Sukma and Bijapur district at around 12 noon on Saturday. The rebels opened fire at the security forces, leading to a fierce gun battle. The encounter lasted for about 3 hours. After the incident, additional reinforcements were rushed to the spot. So, briefing media about an encounter between security forces and Naxals in Chhattisgarh's Bastar, ADG Naxal Ashok Juneja revealed that several number of Naxals have been killed in an encounter. He also informed that mortal remains of 20 jawans out of the 21 who are missing have been located.
कल आफ्टरनून में करीब 11-11:30 बजे दोनों पार्टी नक्सली और सुरक्षा बलों में, जिसके अंदर सीआरपीएफ, कोबरा, एसटीएफ, डीआरजी और सीएफ के जवान थे, दोनों तरफ से 4 घंटे की मुठभेड़ जो चली, करीब 11:30 बजे से लेकर 3:30 बजे। इस मुठभेड़ के अंदर काफ़ी नक्सलियों की हताहत होने की खबर है, क्योंकि जो गोपनीय जानकारी मिल रही थी और सूत्र बता रहे थे करीब 3 या 4 ट्रैक्टरों से जो घायल और मृत नक्सली हैं उनको वहाँ से ट्रांसपोर्ट किया गया है। उनको अभी वॉच कर रहे हैं हम लोग। और सुरक्षा बलों की तरफ से हमारे कल 2 जवान शहीद जो हुए थे उनको मॉर्टर डिटेल्स प्राप्त हो गए थे। और आज जो सुबह हमने अर्ली मॉर्निंग ऑपरेशन लॉन्च किया, रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन, उसके अंदर ऐसा जानकारी मिल रही है कि जो 21 मिसिंग थे, जिसके अंदर कोबरा, एसटीएफ और डीआरजी के जवान थे, 21 में से बॉडी 20 की जो मॉर्टर रिमेन्स है वो लोकेट हो गए हैं। अभी भारतीय वायुसेना और और केंद्रीय एजेंसियों और सीआरपीएफ के जो वरिष्ठ अधिकारी मौजूद हैं, सभी से समन्वय स्थापित करके उनके मॉर्टर ब्रिगेड्स को वहाँ से इवैक्यूएट कराया जा रहा है।
The ADG also said that the Naxals used heavy arms and ammunition during the encounter but still suffered massive loss.
ऐसा जानकारी में आ रहा है कि वेपन उनके द्वारा रॉकेट लॉन्चर भी यूज़ किया गया है और हैंड ग्रेनेड भी यूज़ किए गए हैं और जो गन शॉट इंजरीज भी काफ़ी हैं। नक्सली काफ़ी मारे गए, जैसा मैंने बताया कि गोपनीय सूत्रों से जानकारी मिली है 3 या 4 ट्रैक्टर में उनकी बॉडीज गई है। अब वो अभी धीरे धीरे जब उनके उभर के आएंगे तो उनका कार्ड वगैरह की जानकारी प्राप्त होगी।
President Ramnath Kovind has expressed his condolences to the brave security personnel who laid down their lives in the encounter. In a tweet, President said, and I quote, "The killing of the security personnel while battling Maoist insurgency in Chhattisgarh is a matter of deep anguish. My condolences to the bereaved families. The nation shares their pain and will never forget this sacrifice." And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended his condolences to the families of the martyrs. In a tweet, PM Modi said, "My thoughts are with the families of those martyred while fighting Maoists in Chhattisgarh. The sacrifices of the brave martyrs will never be forgotten. May the injured recover at the earliest." And Union Home Minister Amit Shah spoke to Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel and paid tributes to jawans killed in the Naxal attack in Chhattisgarh. Amit Shah said their sacrifice won't go in vain. Meanwhile, due to Naxal attack in Chhattisgarh, Amit Shah is returning back to Delhi in the midst of his visit to Assam.
दोनों ओर का नुकसान हुआ है, हमारे जवान शहीद हुए हैं। मैं उन सभी जवानों को श्रद्धांजलि भी देता हूं और उनके परिवारजनों को और देश को इतना विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि जवानों ने अपना खून जो देश के लिए बहाया है वो व्यर्थ नहीं जाएगा। हमारी लड़ाई और मजबूती के साथ और मक्कमता के साथ और तीव्रता के साथ इन नक्सलियों के खिलाफ चालू रहेगी और हम इसको परिणाम तक ले जाएंगे।
And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also condoled the martyrdom of security personnel during an encounter in Chhattisgarh. The minister in a tweet has said, and I quote, "Tributes to our courageous security personnel who were killed in action while fighting against the left-wing extremists at Sukma-Bijapur border in Chhattisgarh. They fought with utmost courage and their sacrifice will never be forgotten. My deepest condolences to their families." Right, to talk more on this, my colleague Nandita Dagar joins us live. Nandita, very unfortunate, the count of martyred jawans has in fact reached 22. We want to know from you how many are still missing, and second big attack by Naxals in past 10 days.
Yes, actually Abhishek, one jawan we are told is still missing. 22, as you told rightly, are martyred. If I could go in a sequence of how this attack unfolded, yesterday at around 12 noon, several parties of the CRPF, including Cobra Battalion and the District Reserve Guards, they had embarked from their camps at Tarain on the Sukma and Bijapur district border. That was when about 15 kilometers from their camp in Tarain, in the forests of a village named Jadugaon, they were ambushed by about 200 or more Naxals or left-wing extremists, and that was when they along a stretch of about 2 kilometers, these forces were scattered, and then they fought a valiant battle, of course, but it lasted for more than 3 to 4 hours. And last night we got details started trickling in of casualties. Only today did we get to know that the casualty figure is very high, which is around 22 martyred as well as 31 injured. They are being treated at the Raipur Civil Hospital also. One, of course, one jawan is still missing. The Union Home Minister has cancelled his engagements in Assam and has flown back to Delhi. He will be holding a high-level meeting with the CRPF officials also. He has had a telephonic conversation with the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Mr. Bhupesh Baghel. The Prime Minister, President, several other dignitaries and constitutional heads have tweeted and paid their tributes to the martyrs. So this again a dastardly attack coming only a week after a bus carrying the forces was targeted by the Naxals, and undoubtedly one of the biggest attack so far of this year.
Right, Nandita, you're saying that one is still missing, and it's very unfortunate the count of martyred has reached 22. But big operation was planned, like you were saying, and launched, but Naxalites were also fully prepared. What do you think went wrong? Maybe the anticipation?
Yes, Abhishek, actually, it is too early to find out what went wrong, and the detailed report of this encounter, it will be investigated from all angles. Yes, but what we are being told preliminary from the senior CRPF officials is that it was not expected that the Naxals would reach about 15 kilometers from the camp of CRPF, and the CRPF had actually was going into the deep into the forest of Bastar to encounter them. They had actually assembled very close to the camp of the CRPF. This is something, and second, this was not a mean force. There were sizable numbers of the CRPF who had gathered for this encounter, and the encounter was also very prolonged. The forces got scattered along a 2-kilometer stretch of the forest, as I told you, and therefore they could not fight in unison. They were fighting in different pockets. So this is one of the reasons where, which we are being told is the reason for the high casualty figures on the CRPF side. But as far as the Naxals are concerned, officers are telling us that even the Naxals have suffered heavy casualties. They were also seen carrying dead bodies in 2 tractors back to their camps.
Right, stay with us, Nandita. CRPF DG Mr. Kuldeep Singh is also joining us on the phone line. Will come. Right, DGP Chhattisgarh is joining us on the phone line. Welcome, sir. Welcome to DD India. We want to know from you, sir. We want to know the entire incident, what exactly happened, and how is the condition of the injured, and who all have reached to take stock of the situation.
Yesterday we had sent an operation in an area which is generally a stronghold of Naxals, and the teams of our state police, the CRPF Cobra, they all went for the operation. There was an exchange of fire yesterday for 2-3 hours, and after that the operation is stopped around 4 o'clock. We found that there were some casualties on our side, and today at present when I'm talking to you, we have recovered 22 dead bodies of our jawans, and one jawan is still missing. We are trying to find out. So this is the situation at present.
But sir, do we know exact number of the Naxals who have been killed?
We don't know, like there may be some casualties on their sides, but we have not recovered any dead bodies of any Naxal. So it is difficult to say how and like.
And sir, how many jawans are injured, and how's their condition?
31 jawans are injured, and normally they are all stable, and I don't think anybody. They have been given good health, good medical facilities, and I think there is no chance of anybody succumbing to the injuries.
Last question, sir, before we leave you. Unfortunate, the count of martyred jawans has reached 22. Like you are saying, 31 are injured. Second big attack by Naxals in the last 10 days.
Yes, you can say there was an attack on our convoy in Narayanpur district, where we lost 5 people, and yesterday again there was an exchange of fire, though it was a planned operation, but still we have lost 22 so far, and one is missing. We don't know as yet how is he? So this is the situation.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Nandita, our correspondent, is still with us. Nandita, Maoists, like DGP was also saying, Maoists use machine guns, rocket launchers also to target the forces. And Naxals ambush security forces during an anti-insurgency operation. And he's also saying that one soldier is still believed to be missing.
Yes, you're right, Abhishek. As we have told you from our sources, and the top leadership of the CRPF is also emphasizing that one Jawan is missing, and 31 have been admitted in the district hospital in Raipur as well as Bijapur. The critically injured have been flown to Raipur via the Air Force's Mi-17 helicopters. This Naxal operation is the biggest so far in the year 2021, and in the sense that the number of casualties we have suffered, we have seen similar attacks on our forces. A very big attack in 2010 in Datewada, and then in 2020 also. So clearly emphasizes the menace that Naxalism or left-wing extremism poses to our security forces, to the statehood of to the state of India, as well as the state itself, the state of Chhattisgarh itself, because they do not allow the tribals, the locals over there to reap the fruits of development, education, health facilities, infrastructure, etc. These Naxal constantly, they hold the villagers and tribals under their thumb, and with the help of fear and weapons, they weaponize these. They brutalize and terrorize the people over there. So this is a menace which has been continuing unabated for the past more than several decades. This problem is several decades old. And as far as this encounter is concerned, it's a very, very tragic day. Last night when the news had trickled in, we had only about 5 casualties. Today, 22 is the number of the CRPF people killed. It was these include Cobra, the Cobra battalion of the CRPF, as well as District Reserve Guards of Chhattisgarh. So they're very, very near the Tarin camp indeed, of the CRPF.
But Nandita, who all have reached to take stock of the situation, and how's the condition of the injured also?
Yes, the injured, about 5 to 7 jawans, we are being told, are very critically injured. They are in Raipur in the hospital. They've been flown to Raipur. The others, that is around 25 to 26 of them, they are in the Bijapur hospital. They have splinter injuries. They have injuries, shrapnel injuries, as well as because rocket launchers and machine guns, submachine guns were used by the Naxals. They have pretty severe injuries on their bodies. That is the condition of the injured we know so far.
Right, Nandita, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us the updates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting to review the COVID-related issues and vaccination drive in the country. All senior officers, including Cabinet Secretary, Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Health Secretary and Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul attended the meeting. And India's total active caseload has meanwhile reached 6,91,597. It now comprises 5.54% of the country's total positive cases. 8 states, including Maharashtra, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Madhya Pradesh have shown a steep rise in the COVID daily new cases, and India's cumulative recoveries stand at 1,16,29,289. The national recovery rate is 93.14%. In India, testing for COVID-19 is being conducted regularly. The country has so far tested more than 24 crore 81 lakh 25,908 people, and as per Indian Council of Medical Research, 11 lakh 66,716 samples were tested yesterday. And in the wake of a sudden rise in the COVID-19 cases in Maharashtra, the Pune authorities have imposed certain restrictions to control the spread of the virus. As per the orders, a 12-hour night curfew has been on Saturday. Bars, hotels, restaurants, all religious places will remain closed. The order also states that no public function except funerals and weddings will be allowed. Schools and colleges will remain closed till April 30th, but factories in Pune will be allowed to operate normally. Meanwhile, the state government has decided that all state board students across Maharashtra from class 1 to class 8 will be promoted to the next class without appearing for any exam. State Cabinet Minister and NCP leader Nawab Malik urged the people to follow the SOPs to contain the spread of the coronavirus infections. And as the COVID-19 situation in Bihar worsens, all schools, colleges and other educational institutions have been ordered to remain closed till April 12th. Also, all kinds of public programs and events have been banned too. Around 50 people are allowed for funeral services, while 100 people will be allowed at weddings with a strict adherence to coronavirus guidelines. Odisha government has imposed a night curfew in 10 districts between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. from Monday in view of rising COVID-19 cases. The districts where night curfew will be imposed are Sundargarh, Jharsuguda, Sambalpur, Bargarh, Balangir, Nuabda, Kalahandi, Navrangpur, Koraput and Malkangiri. All shops, commercial establishments, offices, institutions will remain closed and movement of individuals will be prohibited between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. except for essential activities. District collectors have been allowed to impose any further restrictions or allow such activities as felt appropriate considering the local situation. Jagannath Temple in Puri will be closed for public on every Sunday for sanitization work. And with the rise in COVID-19 cases during the last 1 month, the Karnataka government has issued a fresh set of guidelines ordering a ban on use of gyms and swimming pools, holding rallies and protests, while allowing operation of cinemas with only 50% seating capacity. However, on the request of Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce, the government has later modified its order on 50% seating capacity in theatres and permitted the industry to go full house till April 7th. As per the order, all the apartment complexes have been asked to shut common facilities such as party halls and clubhouses. The new restrictions imposed by the government through the guidelines will be enforced till April 20th. Amid growing cases of COVID-19 in Madhya Pradesh, the state's Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has informed that the state government will announce measures restricting unnecessary travel to Chhattisgarh. He added that people coming from Chhattisgarh will be isolated if required.
महाराष्ट्र की सीमा को हमने सील किया है, छत्तीसगढ़ से आने जाने पर भी प्रतिबंध लगेगा। मानवीय दृष्टिकोण से जिनका आना जाना जरूरी है उतना आना जाना होगा और सामान की आवाजाही होगी, जो वस्तुएं लेकर ट्रक्स आते हैं। मेरी अपील है अनावश्यक इन राज्यों में ना जाएं, लेकिन संक्रमण रुके इसलिए कुछ प्रयास करने जरूरी है। वहां से जो आएंगे और उनका आना आवश्यक है तो पूरी तरह से जांच करके जरूरत पड़ेगी तो उनको आइसोलेशन में रखेंगे, लेकिन आम आवाजाही बंद होगी।
In view of growing COVID-19 cases in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the administration has announced to close schools for classes 10th to 12th also till April 11th. The Office of Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir has tweeted, I quote, classes 10, 11 and 12 will also be closed for 1 week in all schools from Monday, that is 5th April 2021 till 11th April 2021 in entire J&K. Further, all gatherings of social and customary functions will be restricted to 200 only and after following due COVID SOPs. An update now on nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country has crossed 7.59 crore. As per the latest update, a total of 7 crore 59,79,651 vaccine doses have been given across the country so far. And total 27,38,972 vaccine doses were given on Saturday, the 78th day of nationwide COVID-19 vaccination. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has received the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine at AIIMS in New Delhi today. The Vice President has urged the countrymen to get themselves vaccinated immediately and everyone to continue to follow all precautions in view of the surge in cases in some parts of the country. The first jab of the COVID vaccine was given to him on 1st March in Chennai. So this is what he tweeted. Took the second dose of COVID-19 vaccine at AIIMS today. And I appeal to all the eligible people to get themselves vaccinated immediately and everyone to continue to follow all precautions in view of the surge in the cases in some parts of the country. This is what Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu tweeted. With recent forest fires reported in the state of Uttarakhand, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has spoken to Uttarakhand CM Tirath Singh Rawat on the forest fire in the state. The central government directs NDRF teams and helicopters to be available for assistance. And Union Home Minister Amit Shah has tweeted, this is what he tweeted, regarding the fire in the forests of Uttarakhand. I call the Chief Minister of State, Shri Tirath Singh Rawat, to overcome the fire and prevent loss of life. The central government immediately. He tagged NDRF headquarters and teams and helicopters have been instructed to make available to the government of Uttarakhand. And Uttarakhand Chief Minister Tirath Singh Rawat held emergency meeting with over forest fire incidents in the state. The Chief Minister held the meeting via video conferencing.
बनागन की घटनाओं को हम गंभीरता से ले रहे हैं। मैंने आज ही माननीय केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री जी से बात किया कि गंभीर स्थिति है, उसको निपटने के लिए हमें 2 चॉपर की आवश्यकता है, जो तत्काल माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने हमको उपलब्ध कराए हैं और आज ही वो हमारे प्रदेश के अंदर आए हैं और निश्चित है कि उससे हम लोग आग में काबू पाएंगे और आम जनता को निजात दिलाएंगे।
Right, we'll slip into a very short break. On the other side, more stories.
Kitchen waste, green waste, dried leaves from the garden, which are a source of carbon.
The money we received from the government added to our savings all went into the rice mill. I was into athletics before going in for judo, which really attracted me. It is a wonderful sport for girls and very beneficial.
Namaste land.
Marhaban ilal Hind.
Zari India.
Salam India. Namaste India.
Namaskar Bharata.
Muy India.
Nahnu Hunud. India.
Ma Hindi Hasti.
Mung Hindian.
Salam Hindustan.
We are India.
Welcome back. News now from the poll-bound states and Union Territory. Campaigning will end this evening for assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry, and third phase of polling in Assam and West Bengal. While single-phase polling will be held in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry on Tuesday, Assam and West Bengal will witness the third phase of polling. By polls to Kanyakumari Lok Sabha seat in Tamil Nadu and Malappuram parliamentary constituency in Kerala will also be conducted simultaneously. Voting for 40 assembly seats in Assam and 31 seats in West Bengal will be held in this phase. On Tuesday, single-phase polling is taking place for 234 assembly seats in Tamil Nadu, 140 constituencies in Kerala and 30 assembly seats in Puducherry. Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed a poll rally in Barpeta, Assam. On this occasion, Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh as well as a host of several BJP leaders were present there. Addressing the rally, Amit Shah alleged that Congress party has only worked for divisive goals, and in the past 5 years, there has been great change reflected in maintaining peace in Assam.
A Congress party झगड़ा लगाओ और राज करो की नीति करती है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी मोदी जी के सबके साथ सबका विश्वास और सबका विकास के सूत्र पर आगे बढ़ रही है। और इसी का कारण है कि 5 साल के अंदर एक भी आंदोलन नहीं हुआ और बोडोलैंड का समझौता भी हुआ, कार्बी आंगलोंग का भी समझौता हुआ। 2000 से ज्यादा युवा हथियार डालकर मेन स्ट्रीम में आया है और आज आसाम के अंदर शांति।
BJP President JP Nadda held a roadshow in Puducherry's Thirunallar on Sunday. The BJP President held the rally as the Union Territory is about to undergo assembly polls. The campaigning for the April 6 assembly election is heading for a final frenetic flourish as political rallies wind up their voter outreach. The campaigning will conclude at 7 p.m. today when prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the Criminal Procedure Code take effect. Moving on now, some updates on historic Dandi March. Mahatma Gandhi had left for Vanch from Daman on 3rd April 1930. Treading on the path of Mahatma Gandhi, the Padyatris followed the same routes. They were welcomed by the people awaiting there. Children, women and locals who welcomed the Padyatris. Sikkim Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang joined the Padyatris in Daman and accompanied the Padyatris up to Navsari. Chief Minister termed this yatra historic and said that the country is moving ahead on the path of progress after taking inspiration from Mahatma Gandhi's vision.
बहुत खुश महसूस कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि ऐसा ऐतिहासिक जगह में हम पहली बार आया हूँ, वो भी ऐतिहासिक समय में जो भारत स्वतंत्र के 75 सालों का जो शुरुआत है 2022 में हो रहा है। तो इसके लिए मेरे लिए मैं खुशनसीब हूँ। इसके लिए मैं केंद्र सरकार, भारत सरकार को और मैं गुजरात सरकार को मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ, सिक्किम सरकार की तरफ से और सिक्किम का सारा जनता की तरफ से।
So India's first batch of women soldiers are ready to strike. The first batch of 100 women warriors will soon be inducted in army as they will complete their training and getting ready for the pass out parade on May 8 this year. The Corps of Military Police has become the first in the Indian Army to recruit women in its rank and file. The brave and courageous young women soldiers will be joining the rank of Lance Nayak and can be considered for postings in forward areas too, as the army braces up to make the gender parity more visible. The young women soldiers, many from the family background of farmers, teachers and lower economic strata, join the army for the passion of the uniform and honor to defend the country. A special report by our correspondent Aisha Khanum from the training campus at Bengaluru.
CPIMP स्वाति महाराष्ट्र।
CPIMP संध्या शुक्ला मैम।
वैसे तो मतलब हम कभी कम पड़ जाए तो उनसे हम मतलब देख के इंस्पायर्ड भी हो सकते हैं। वैसे उनका अलग है, मतलब हमारा अलग है, लेकिन हम भी उनसे कुछ कम नहीं है मैम। खुद को कम मत समझो और देश के प्रति वफादार हो, और आप भी इंडियन आर्मी में आ सकते हो और देश का नाम रोशन कर सकते हो।
मैम यूनिफॉर्म बहुत अच्छी लगती है।
When these young women soldiers speak with determination and courage and fire in their belly, they even silence the deafening sound of the enemy's gun. Army is all set to welcome these daughters of India in their rank and files as soldiers. As these women aim their target, they know they are breaking the glass ceilings, and as soldiers in Indian Army, they are making a statement of equal opportunity and gender equality in every fold of the armed forces. And this is true as they underwent the rigorous training alongside with their male counterparts at the Corps of Military Police School and Center in Bengaluru campus. Watching them from a distance, it is difficult to spot them, and only a colored sleeve is a mark to identify them as the woman Sipahi. And when they march, the patriotic music plays in the background, Khadam Khadam Badhaye Ja, as if to match their footsteps and reflect their thoughts. Indian Army till now had women in rank of officers, but with these women warriors, the Army is set to add another feather in its cap.
It was more essential for sensitizing the troops as well as their families who are residing here, and also the recruits who are going to be their counterparts. We carried out exclusive sessions to make them understand the concept of gender parity, giving them examples of the civil world, how women are colleagues and they need to accept them as colleagues, develop a sense of mutual respect, how do you coexist, how do you work together and make a team.
Right from the selection process, it was a tough call for these young girls in the age group of 19 to 21 years, and many class 12th pass and some still pursuing graduation. This batch is indeed the cream selected from among the 2 lakh aspirants who applied for this post. Their instructors could not believe themselves when they saw their endurance levels and stamina and a strong willpower to do everything right during the 61 weeks of their training. This is no easy task. This is literally a tightrope walk for these young soldiers who are training here at Bangalore.
चैलेंज तो बहुत बड़ा रहा, लेकिन हमने मैनेज कर लिया। इसमें कई बच्चे फिजिकल फिट भी है, जब शुरू में आए थे फिट भी आए थे ये लोग। अभी जैसे एनसीसी करके आया, कोई स्पोर्ट्समैन है, तो इनके अलावा कुछ बच्चे वीक भी थे, तो उनको थोड़ा सा मैनेज करके हमने कर लिया।
No ma'am, there is no toughness in their training and our training. No ma'am.
So the training you undergo, do you think this will prepare you mentally? How tough is this?
Yes ma'am, we are mentally settled that how the training goes on. I think there is no difference in this training and officers training, so it has an idea about this, how training goes in officers.
जब आप मेल सोल्जर्स के साथ ट्रेनिंग लेती हैं तो क्या दिखता है आपको? दोनों की बराबरी की ट्रेनिंग होती है, जो एंड्योरेंस होता है, फिजिकल जो स्टेमिना होता है?
यहाँ पे सब लड़का लड़की एक जैसे बराबर ट्रेनिंग दिया जाता है। हाँ, रनिंग में हमारा और लड़के का टाइमिंग डिफरेंस है, बस बाकी सब कुछ सेम है।
This training of these women Sipahis will make them eligible for peace and field jobs. They also underwent provost training in investigating gender-specific crimes like sexual assault, such as rapes, murders, and suicide cases in cantonment areas.
जैसे कि हम देख रहे हैं आजकल डेली लाइफ में ऐसे केसेस बहुत ज़्यादा मिल रहे हैं, इवन कैंट एरियाज़ में भी बहुत ज़्यादा केसेस होते हैं। तो हमारी ये ड्यूटीज़ है इनको फेस करना, इनको हैंडल करना, तो मैं चाहूँगी कि मैं ऐसे केस हैंडल करूँ। मैं
The women sepoys are also trained to manage war control room, track radio signals and communication network as they set it up. And dismantle within minutes. And also ride bikes and drive heavy vehicles up to 2.5 tons in adverse situations so as to reach battlefield if deployed. महिला योद्धा क्या कुछ नहीं कर सकती। यहाँ पर ट्रेनिंग चल रही है महिला सिपाही ये 2.5 टन का ट्रक भी चला सकती हैं और अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो ये ट्रक लेकर भी युद्ध भूमि में निकल सकती है। तो भारी ट्रक चला रही हो, हमसे कार ही नहीं संभलती, आप कैसे चलाते हो?
सर मैंने जो रहता है हमारे उस्तादों ने बहुत अच्छा हमें सिखाया है, हमें कोई डर नहीं लगता इसे चलाते हुए।
किस तरह की ट्रेनिंग जरूरी होती है इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी चलाने के लिए?
मैम कभी भी किसी की भी जरूरत पड़ सकती है, इसलिए हमें सब कुछ आना जरूरी होता है।
Besides strengthening their mental and physical strength, focus was also laid on the nutritional balance. And with the arrival of women sepoys, the Corps of Military Police School and Center campus also underwent changes and built infrastructure to suit the requirement of the women warriors. Their dressing rooms, a zero-cut hairstylist, and most important, Vishaka guidelines, all confined in this new setup. A lady officer, Lieutenant Colonel Julie, is their training officer who pushes them vigorously during the training and also motivates them with her own personal experience as woman officer in Indian Army.
Indian Army has women officers right from 1993. So Indian Army is kind of used to the presence of the women among them. But definitely getting them as soldiers to the Indian Army is a very big step, because these are the people who will be rubbing shoulders with the soldiers everywhere.
Correct.
So their training has been such in order to maintain the gender parity also, at the same time the gender sensitivity.
The military police intends to train 100 new women warriors every year, and by year 2037 it targets to build their strength to 1,700. Well, majority of girls in the present batch are from Haryana, 26, Uttar Pradesh 27, 8 are from Karnataka, 2 from Northeast and 1 each from other states. But these young sepoys bonded well and they helped each other and share experience after an exhausting day, and their smiles and laughter relaxes them as they get ready for the next day. They even compliment their male counterparts for their support during their training.
ये जब हम स्टार्टिंग में तो मैम ने हमेशा सपोर्ट किया, कभी मतलब टाइम भी नहीं है फ़ोन देने का तो मैम ने सपोर्ट किया, बात करवा दिया पेरेंट्स से, या फिर खुद अपना टाइम निकल के हमारे पास आके बैठी हैं। वो रात का मौसम मतलब मच्छर भी आया तब भी मैम खुद बैठेंगी, नहीं कहीं नहीं जाना, सबको बैठेंगे हमारे लिए अपना टाइम छोड़ छोड़ के। खड़ा होने तो खड़ा अभी ऐसे ही हो जाता है, कोई भी गए थे तो वैसे ही बात करते, पापा से वैसे ही बात हो जाती है। मैम अभी चिट्ठी पे गए थे, प्रिंसिपल बैठने गए, जैसे ही प्रिंसिपल ने नाम दिया तो साधारण जी साहब, और बैंक में नाम पूछे तो वहाँ भी सिपाही।
The military police believes in the motto, to send people to war without training is to abandon them. And at the Corps of Military Police School and Center, they leave no stone unturned to send these women warriors fully prepared to dare and defeat the enemy and defend the nation. This is one of the most advanced stage of training for these women soldiers at the CMP. And the women learning to load the bullets, load the gun, blindfolded is an example of the courage and the skills they have learned at their training here at CMP. Very soon, these young women will rewrite the history of Indian Army and they will join the forces, perhaps be on the frontiers and also not only make the nation proud but
the whole world will look at this new empowerment of women from Indian Army. With cameraman Girish, Aisha Khanam, DD India, Bangalore.
So first batch of women soldiers ready to strike. Some international stories now. A 30-member Indian Army delegation arrived in Dhaka on Saturday to participate in a multinational military exercise named Shanti Rogro Sena 2021. The multinational military exercise is being held from today onwards till 12th April. The theme of the exercise is robust peacekeeping operations. The event marks the birth centenary of the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and the Golden Jubilee of the liberation of Bangladesh. Apart from India, military contingents from Royal Bhutan Army, Sri Lankan Army and Bangladesh Army are also participating in the event. The Indian Army contingent for the events comprises 30 personnel, including officers, JCOs and jawans of a battalion from the Dogra Regiment. Military observers from the USA, UK, Turkey, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Singapore will also be in attendance throughout the exercise. And the Bangladesh government has announced a 7-day countrywide lockdown from Monday to curb the spread of the virus. Following up on the announcement, the Railway Ministry has suspended all passenger train services once lockdown is imposed in the country. However, freight trains will run as per normal schedule. The Civil Aviation Authority of Bangladesh has also decided to suspend all domestic flights in the country from Monday in order to curb the spread of the coronavirus. However, the operation of the international flights will not be affected by this decision of CAAB. Bangladeshis rushed to stock up on food before the lockdown.
Shoppings, because we don't know the situation, the current situation. We just know that it will be lockdown for 1 week. We don't know the other days. So that's why I made some shoppings.
করোনা বেড়ে যাওয়ার জন্য আবার করোনা টেস্ট করার জন্য আসছি। এখানে প্রচন্ড ভিড়, অনেক করোনা রোগী এসে পড়ছে করোনা টেস্ট করার জন্য। এটা এখানে মানে বাড়তেছে দিন দিন, কমতেছে না করোনা।
And Turkey has imposed new weekend lockdowns in most provinces after coronavirus cases reached all-time high nationwide. Health Ministry data showed on Friday that Turkey recorded 42,308 new coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours, the highest level since the beginning of the pandemic. Cases have surged since the government eased measures to curb the pandemic in early March. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan announced tighter measures against the coronavirus on Monday and said a full weekend lockdown will be in place for a month beginning Friday. Restaurants can only serve food for delivery and takeouts as part of the full weekend lockdowns, which will be in place during the Islamic fasting month of Ramadan starting April 13th. Turkey's biggest city, Istanbul, and capital Ankara are among the highest risk cities, along with several Black Sea provinces, according to a pandemic map published by the Health Ministry. On Saturday, drone images show half-deserted streets in Istanbul with traffic visible on bridges and highways. These are the visuals that we are showing you. Turkey has over 34,45,000 cases of the coronavirus, along with the death toll past 32,000. Now let's take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. Cases of COVID-19 globally have crossed the 13 crore mark. More than 13 crore 13 lakh people worldwide have contracted COVID-19 so far, while over 10 crore 57 lakh have recovered from the virus. The deadly virus has so far claimed more than 28 lakh 59,000 lives globally. The United States remained the worst affected country by coronavirus. The country has reported more than 3 crore 13 lakh COVID-19 cases and over 5 lakh 68,000 fatalities reported in the US so far. Moving on, Myanmar security forces opened fire on pro-democracy protests in Moinba on Saturday, killing at least 5 people. Meanwhile, the military stepped up its bid to stifle dissent with arrest warrants for a further 20 high-profile critics. Despite the killing of more than 550 people by the security forces since February 1st coup, protesters are coming out every day, often in small groups in small towns, to voice opposition to the overthrow of an elected government led by Aung San Suu Kyi and the return of military rule. Protests were also held in Myanmar's second city, Mandalay. Well, time for another short break. On the other side, more stories.
your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Middle East countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now. The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India.
Sports now. Anirban Lahiri hopes simplifying his golf swing and thoughts will finally land him a PGA Tour victory. The 33-year-old Indian fired a second successive 369 in the third round at the Valero Texas Open to move up 3 rungs to 5th place, giving him a legitimate crack at the title. Lahiri has shown marked improvements with his ball striking that he ended his round feeling like he should have been a couple of shots closer to the lead.
I'm really happy with the way I played. I think this is probably the most solid I've played tee to green in a while. I felt really calm, and I kind of knew what I was doing, and it's really nice. I do feel like I left quite a few shots out there. I hit it really good. So yeah, I think I would have liked to be maybe 2-3 shots better, but still got to look at it tomorrow. So if I can go out and do the same things I did today, maybe make a couple more, it'll be nice to get in the hunt.
So Easter Sunday, the resurrection of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion to redeem the world, is being celebrated in Mizoram with religious solemnity and gaiety by different church denominations. Sunrise service proclaiming he is risen and delivering sermons observed early this morning, mostly by youth members of different church denominations. President Ramnath Kovind has sent his greetings to all fellow citizens on the eve of Easter. In a message, the President said, I quote, "On the auspicious occasion of Easter, I extend my best wishes and heartiest congratulations to all the fellow citizens, especially from the Christian community living in India and abroad. This festival commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ is celebrated with joy all over the world. Jesus Christ is a symbol of humanity, forgiveness, sacrifice, compassion and truth. His life teaches us peace, love and fraternity. On this joyous occasion, let's follow these values which will strengthen the bond of love, affection and harmony in our society and increase happiness and prosperity in our nation." Unquote. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also extended greetings and good wishes on the auspicious occasion of Easter. The Vice President in a tweet said, "Revered as the Savior of mankind, Jesus Christ illuminated a path of salvation for humanity through love, peace, compassion and forgiveness. Let us celebrate Easter by being compassionate towards all human beings. May this festival bring good health, peace and harmony in our lives." Right, the world celebrates Easter today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also has conveyed his greetings in a tweet. PM Modi said, this is what he tweeted: "On this day, we remember the pious teachings of Jesus Christ. His emphasis on social empowerment inspires millions across the world." Well, that's all we have in this edition of News Connect. But before we wind up, we leave you with the glimpses of baby capybara, who has found a new family at the Cali Zoo after his mother abandoned it soon after birth last December. Take a look.